Computer breaks. Watch. Haha. Hey, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. This is Kendall with Lawnbot here. Who would have guessed it, right? Lawnbot here, Lawnbot there, with a very special guest and our first episode of Lawnbot Live. This is a new show. Eric and I talked. We said, hey, we need to find a way to talk about sales and marketing and branding. And we think there's a lot of small businesses that could benefit from learning from industry experts, people that have been in the industry a long time. But then also, Ryan, I think what's exciting about what you guys, and by the way, this is our very special first guest, Ryan Shiplett, a good friend of mine over on the east side of Michigan, really doing some cool stuff. And I thought I'd make him our first guest to bring to you today here on Lawnbot Live. If you're watching the stream, we really appreciate you to like and share the stream. We want to get this out to as many business entrepreneurs, people that are ambitious about growing their business. We want them to see this because I think Ryan's story, which he'll tell you a little bit about here in a second, will really get some people motivated. So with that, this is Ryan Shiplett, my fertilizing company in Detroit. Ryan, how are you doing today?
Hey man, it's we're doing good, Kendall. How you doing?
We're great. You know, it was a little bit wet this morning, but we're making the best of it.
We've gotten like 3 inches of rain in the last 2 days, hence why we're doing an early lunch.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, that's kind of one of the benefits, right, of being in the green industry is rain days. I remember we used to go to On the Border and start drinking margaritas on the rain days. So for everybody that doesn't know who you are, give everybody a little bit of a background. How did you get into the lawn care industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So I own 2 companies. I'm the owner of a company that I started in 2001 called RS Lawn Care and Landscaping. And I'm also the owner of a company I started in 2015 called My Fertilizing Company. So let's start back in the late 90s. I was cutting lawns for like $8.50 an hour. Saw this guy that was selling a business in my neighborhood. Actually, a guy I used to wrestle in high school, and he ended up selling me his lawn care business for like $1,100. I mean, it was like a no-brainer.
Wow.
By the end of my first year in college, I was making like $900 a week, which is like incredible. Going to school full time, working like 20 hours a week, not even. And just making under $1,000 a week. I mean, that was awesome. So I just did that. We had some recessions and, along the way. So 2001 to 2008, the recession happened. But I also wanted to get into fertilizing a little bit. So really had no idea what I was doing. Started getting my license, started doing some fertilizing, and realized that there's a lot of opportunities in fertilizing. But I personally didn't want to be the person doing all the work or any of the work, so to speak. So I started talking to a good friend of mine who's now my business partner, Andrew Walsh, who had been working for other companies. Said, hey, do you want to fertilize on the weekends for me? He goes, yeah, sure. And I was paying him well. And then it morphed into like one day after he'd been fertilizing for me on the weekends. I said, hey, man, do you want to interested in starting a fertilizing company? And literally like the next day he called me back and said, yeah. And so my fertilizing company was started in 2014, and we opened our doors in 2015. I still own the lawn care company, sole proprietor. I'm an LLC, but I'm the only owner. So we kind of have like sister companies, and we really don't do any landscaping anymore. It's all maintenance work. So we're trying to figure out a good way that we can bring the companies together. But I've, never really thought that in 2001 that most of my job at this point would be on the computer, like doing website stuff, doing graphics. It's stuff that I'm really passionate about and I love. Right now, between both the companies, we have just under 1,900 clients. We're top pricing in our market, highest prices in our market. I think things are awesome. We really have a great team. We've had a lot of growing pains, especially with the fertilizing company, just because we've really spent more time on growth and profit, and trying to get the right people in the right positions, I think is really key. And
yeah, tell me about that a little bit. I mean, I think we here at Lawnbot, we work with a lot of different companies, some that have 30,000 customers, some that are just getting started. So tell me about those first couple of years, like when you guys decided to start my fertilizing company. How did you get that initial base? Like, what did it look like?
Well, we did things. We changed our business model. At first, we were going like, hey, we can do cheaper and better. And then, so we did a lot of direct mail and got a ton of business. I mean, we were, the amount of clients that we got was just incredible, but they weren't good sales. They were people that weren't watering their lawns. Bad clients, people that they don't water lawns, but you have 6 service calls a year because they got weeds every week.
Right.
So we but it got our brand out there. I'm really proud of our brand. So we got our brand out there. Our trucks were everywhere, and then little by little we started raising our rates. And then direct mail wasn't really working anymore, just because we you got 4 letters in front of you, and when you're looking at 4 at that point, it's really just based on price. If you're looking at 4 letters, I mean, people do call, but if you literally have 4 letters in front of you, and then one is $75 more expensive, and that's really not that much money when you break it down per app. But when you look at the full year price, people look at that and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna call these other 3. They're a little bit better. So direct mail really wasn't working for us so well. So we're pretty much all digital right now between just SEO. We did some Facebook this year, and we do a lot of Google ads right now. Right now, actually, we just dialed it back, but we had a lot of success with Google ads this year and with Lawnbot. Just the integration with everything just made it so nice. Yeah, it was really cool.
Well, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, I know companies who've been in business for 6 or 7 years that haven't grown by nearly, as fast as you guys are. So hats off to you guys for that. I know the work that it takes to grow a lawn care company, a service company, really knocking on doors. I'm sure providing, at the end of the day, you got to provide great results, and you're not going to grow if you're not retaining customers. What's your retention look like right now and at MyFert?
I'd say we're, on my fertilizing company, I'd say, like I said, we did raise our rate. So right now, I'd say we're probably around 80% retention rate, something like the 85%. Andrew, my business partner, Andrew, does all these numbers. I'm more like the Google Analytics type of guy. And right now I think we got internet back. We were just out of internet. So I think I can look at numbers finally now. So we can pull that back up.
The reason why, for everybody watching the stream, if you're watching this after the fact, the reason why I wanted to bring Andrew on, I'm sorry, not Andrew, Ryan. The reason why I wanted to bring Ryan on, I was thinking about the numbers. The reason why I wanted to bring Ryan on was we work with a lot of companies at Lawnbot, and we're able to see the analytic data on our side of companies doing really well, kind of in the middle of the road, and then folks that could improve. And one thing that is super interesting about my fertilizing company is that comparative to their size, they get a ton of leads. And what is also very interesting about that is Ryan does all the work, the digital work, mostly himself. We helped them with some Facebook ads this year. But in terms of the website, I think you were like messaging with Google a couple weeks ago, right? Like getting some tracking stuff done.
Oh, we do. We have a meeting like every 2 weeks now. It's pretty cool.
And that's really cool. I don't even talk to Google, so I don't know how you got their number. You're gonna have to get
I don't know. They got my number somehow. It was awesome. So with the website, so like I said, in 2001, I started RS Lawn Care. One of my best friends was going to U of M, and he started doing my website for RS Lawn Care. And his class project in like 2002 was like my lawn care site. It was great for 2002. But then, as time progressed, I wanted updates, and I didn't know anything about websites. And I'd ask my buddy, his name was Chris. I said, "Hey, Chris, I need you to do this for me, but I want to pay you." No, don't worry about it, Ryan. I'll just take care of it. Well, everybody knows when you've got a friend, like a friend job, it's you don't get charged, but you get last on the list. And this is my business, and you know, last on my list was taking over a month, and you know, he was doing me a favor, but it wasn't really doing me any more favors. So I actually had to sit down with him and be like, hey man, I need one last favor from you, but I need it like now. Not, you know, give me, you know, we set up an appointment, and I started doing my own website stuff through WordPress. I'm really OCD about the website, my artwork, my media. I learned how to use Photoshop, After Effects.
I will second that. It was, I think the amount of time that we spent on the CSS but that's perfect. It's your brand, and you value it and cherish it. You should take time on it. So
yeah, Kendall, you ended up giving me the CSS. You're like, dude, just do it. You just make the changes. And I was fine with that. I'm like, all right, I don't have to bother him anymore. You know, I mean, it was just minor stuff, but I want it right. You know, we want to give that impression that we're, you know, a multi-million-dollar company. So in order to keep up with True Green and the big dogs, we have to give that impression right off the bat. So I started doing the website, and I have hundreds and hundreds of hours of a YouTube university degree of watching things, just how to do it. And I taught myself how to do all this stuff. Actually, the newest thing that I'm learning how to do is just do like professional looking videos on my phone that I can do quickly, just not overproduced.
Yeah. So like, I mean, how do you actually teach yourself this stuff? Like, what does that process look like? Is it going to Google and like Googling your problem and reading, or what does that look like?
Yeah, but it's not you have to be a little bit better than that. So anytime you're doing anything with technology, whether it's Google, a software, a cell phone, let's say you're in a cell phone problem, you have to go into the search tools and look back at if you like get a certain amount of time. So if you're looking for a problem and you have a Google Ads problem and you're looking back and you find solutions, it might have been 4 years ago that solution was, and it might not be the right solution anymore. It might not even be relevant. So that can be really frustrating, because you can watch a video or something on YouTube for maybe, you know, 20 minutes just to find out you watched the wrong version. It was like that button's no longer there. Yeah, the button's not there anymore. Dude, it's so frustrating. But being able to do everything in-house is incredible. If we hire somebody, let somebody go, adding images, SEO is probably the most important thing for me. I want people all over the country visiting our website, which we do get traffic. Just on our Lawn 101 page, our business name is my fertilizing company. So on the west side of the country, if you type in fertilizing company, we tend to we populate. We've been as high as #1 in San Francisco. I think Orlando, we were #3, but it's just pretty cool that we don't have anything to do down there or on the west side of the country.
Yeah. So when you talk about SEO, what is that specific? Is that blog posts? Is that creating new pages with new content frequently? Yeah, like, what does that look like for you? Because obviously you're doing a great job at it, doing it yourself.
Maybe I need to take a step back. SEO is search engine optimization. So what that means is like we have paid ads, and then we have paid ads, we have referral ads or referrals, then we have SEO. Paid ads is like Google AdWords, Facebook, things that generate traffic that you're actually paying for per lead. Referrals could be from like maybe a post that you share on Facebook, maybe a friend's page that, you know, links to your page. And then SEO is basically just how good your website is and how Google actually takes the data and then makes it for a better user experience for people in our area or all over the country. So we've done a lot of blogs about very specific things about heat stress, about heat stress bruising, things that like you see on the lawn. If our client has an issue, I want to have it on our Lawn 101, and I want to have a blog about it so that we actually have something that we can send them. But also because all these companies in the other parts of the country, I want, if they want to send my link to their client, with our information, that's awesome.
That's really cool.
I want it to be like a learning experience at our site.
Yeah, typically what we see at Lawnbot when we're working with a company that's not performing well is they hire an SEO company, and the SEO company literally doesn't do anything. They say they're doing SEO, but they're not updating keywords. They're not adding blog posts. They're not creating new pages. They're not creating links. So I would highly encourage, you know, this world that we live in is digital now, and it's going to continue to be digital. I would highly encourage every owner to spend some time, every business owner, spend some time in learning these new channels, because it's going to make, I mean, I'm sure, Ryan, when you talk to web companies, you know when they're bullshitting you and when they're shooting you straight, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I have probably 40 plus hours in just keywords of our images, optimizing our images. So not only is it like keywords and all that, like your images have to be fast.
Yeah.
Certain things like your website, like the homepage, has to be fast. It really does. Like Google looks at so many things, and I don't think that anybody really even knows the true answer. You do one thing and it changes 6 other things, but
it's a moving target. And here's another thing we noticed is at Lawnbot, we noticed you guys do great on Google. You have great Google reviews. You have a good amount of them. What we noticed is companies with a lower amount of Google reviews also got a lower amount of traffic to their website, in turn, a lower amount of chats through Lawnbot. So what that tells me is that buyers, homeowners, when they're buying lawn care, is they Google the company, right? And then they read Google reviews. And like, what's really cool is that your reviews talk about you guys, Andrew and Ryan, the owners, in the reviews. So then when Ryan calls them or whoever, like, yeah, you know, it feels like a family-owned business. It doesn't feel like you're calling a national conglomerate where you're kind of just a number. And I think in Michigan, at least, and I think a lot of other parts of the country, people love the family-owned and operated aspect of the business. Ryan, I want to move on to Facebook ads. So this year, we helped you with some Facebook ads. You've done Google pay-per-click in the past. What did you think of the Facebook ads?
Facebook ads were a lot. We had a lot of ads. They worked. I personally, though, it could have been timing. We started doing Facebook ads during COVID, and Facebook makes it really easy for people just to fill out the form. So literally they can do it and they submit it. We were coming in on Monday morning with like over 100 leads, 100 leads. It was, and at that point we hadn't had the integration yet with the service assistant. So my business partner, Andrew, and I would help out our sales staff, and we would just start data entering for hours. To be honest, we found that the Facebook leads didn't work as well for us this spring as the Google ads. But we still, I mean, we killed it. We got a ton of data. We got opportunities. We made sales doing it. But I think that for us, I think Google ads definitely worked a little better for us this year. Actually, a lot better for us. But I wanted to mention something about your reviews. I'm 100% on board with you about the reviews. 100%. Just the way that my wife thinks. I attested reviews for everything, but that we're going to get on the review thing. Actually, it's in our meeting. We have a meeting after this, and we're ready to get my reviews, because I think one review is so valuable. If we can get a lot of reviews at one time. Yeah. And then for people that want to know why they talk about us, we offer a $50 bonus for our techs. If someone's like, hey, you know, hey, Brett, you did a great job. It's like, well, hey, you know, I even tell people, like, leave us a Google review, and if you mention my name, I get a $50 bonus. Like, people want to help you.
I've heard of that. Tip Attack. There's a few customers of ours that do that. Tip Attack. That's a really smart way of doing it, because people love to see other people do. Most people love to see other people do well. Right. And I see Johnny busting his ass every 6 weeks on my property. I want Johnny to get paid. Like, he's the one taking care of me, you know, not necessarily Ryan. He's probably, you know, fishing or drinking a beer.
Right.
Well, so I want Johnny to do well too.
People want to help. Yeah, people feel good about helping, and our techs feel good when they see their name and motivated. Yeah. And then, you know, someone's like, oh, you know, we do AMA too, which I love through Real Green. If you don't know what that is, it's automated marketing assistant. They get before and after service emails. So before they get a service, it shows a picture of the tech, picture of them, a little bio, so they know who's coming. And we have the techs in the same area. So if you get a review and then, you know, or read a review and you see Brett, and then all of a sudden you see that name, now you have, I don't know if I'll be able to say that word. It's similar, familial. I can't even say it, dude. But the same tech every time, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So tell me about growth. I mean, this year, are you guys up? Or are you down? Or are you
We're definitely
stabilizing?
up. Yeah, we're about, I think we're going to be about 15% up. Our first couple of years, we were growing too big. Like I said, we were at like 30%, 40% growth. Our first year, I think we were at like 50% growth or some ridiculous amount.
Some people would wish for that, by the way. Like, I wish I could grow my business by 50%. What are the problems with that? Like, I know from growing my company that quickly what the problems are, but let's tell everybody, what the problems with that is.
But debt, profit, I mean, it's great, but you can only sustain it for so long because, I mean, I didn't get a paycheck for a few years, which is fine. I had another company, but just trying to sustain it, trying to do everything on a low budget. You can't deliver the same products. You can't hire. I mean, it just depends. We weren't able to bring people on. We were just accumulating debt. We just had our business too cheap, growing too big, and we just accumulated debt. We've always wanted to bring on the right people, so that really wasn't an option of cheaping out on that. Yeah. So right now we're just trying to get ourselves in a better profit position where I mean, the end of the game is making money. Yeah. Having full websites cool, and having Lawnbot's cool, but at the end of the game, it's all about making money.
Totally.
It's fun. It's all we do this. I mean, I don't do it for fun, at least. Maybe some people do, but not me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny you say that. So when I ran the company I ran, not allowed to say the name apparently, but when I ran the company I ran, big green thumb on the trucks. So I loved, like, I grew up in the industry with my dad doing lawns and stuff. Like, he was the guy that loved treating the lawns and stuff. He loved the agronomic side, which is great. It just wasn't me. I was the sales and marketing guy.
Right.
And even when we bought the company from my parents, that was still my brother, who is now the current owner of that lawn care company. And he loves treating the lawns, loved talking about, what products we're using, making sure all the crabgrass is killed, all that kind of thing. But I'm with you. Like, at the end of the day, we're in business to make money and to help our communities. I mean, having good local businesses like yourself is, I don't know how many people you employ, but you're creating jobs, right? And you're beautifying the local spaces where you guys service. So, there couldn't really be a better scenario for actually helping your community than owning a small business. So hats off to you on that. That's amazing. So, I mean, we're almost at 22 minutes here. Obviously, you're ambitious, right? You want big things. Or else you wouldn't be doing this. You also have a baby at home. I know that because you've helped me with some tips and tricks, as they say. To first 4 months was rough. We were launching Lawnbot. Tell me about how you make it all work. I mean, I know that you send me videos and pictures of you playing guitar with your child, and how do you make it all work?
Drink.
Business, drink.
I drink.
Shots of whiskey, right?
No, really, I really struggle with anxiety and stress. It's my kryptonite. I'll be the first to admit it. It's good to know what I struggle with. So for me, I have to have a clear-cut separation from work and personal life. My guys know that after 5 o'clock, if it can't wait until tomorrow, like it's just, I don't want to be bothered with it. I try not to check my emails in the evening anymore. It's really hard. It takes practice. It takes discipline. Having a baby, I mean, I'll be the first one to say, nobody ever in the history of mankind ever said I want an infant. I think Kendall and I can both agree with that. They say I want a baby, and my son is awesome now. Like, I want to get off work and play with them, and I play the guitar, and maybe crack open a few pops after work, play the guitar, and hang out. But I think it's just really about just trying to see the glass half full. I mean, things could always be better. Let's not lie, but things could always be worse. COVID, I don't want to get too much into that, but we found the silver lining on some of these grants and loans, and we ended up protesting and going out a little early this year, and it ended up really helping us out when other companies weren't able to take on their business. We were. And in Michigan, we had all this stuff going on with our governor, so it was a great decision. But for me, it was really the separation. I have to have separate phones for work. You know, can't have a work phone, you know, where clients are calling you, bothering you at 11 o'clock at night.
And for people in other industries watching this, I know we're kind of streaming out to a few different groups right now. Lawn care homeowners are the most persistent people you've ever met in your life. I mean, if there's 10 weeds out there, you're getting a phone call or a text message at 10:30 at night, and they expect you out there the next day.
On Sunday.
Or Sunday, right? So yeah. It's like, I feel you on that of separating, because I used to be super, I wanted to grow, and to do that, you need to make customers happy. So I was like answering calls at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, me too.
Like, literally, and because I didn't want them to cancel, right? You can't grow a business with customers canceling. So I was always super, but there came a point where it's like, okay, you know, we've got the business off the ground a little bit. I need to stop answering my phone after 6 p.m. or whatever it is. Whenever that time stops, that makes a lot of sense.
I got a funny
What's that?
I got a funny one for you. You know, then you got one or two of those clients that are like, these are my buddies. And you're like, I'll give you my personal cell phone number. And then this guy was calling me at like 9:30 at night about a few weeds in his flower beds. He's like, did I catch you at a bad time? Like, no, I'm just laying in bed watching a movie with my wife. How can I help you? And he got the hint, and he started laughing. He's like, I'm really sorry. I'll call you tomorrow.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So what does 2021 look like for you? What's your targets? What do you guys?
Like I said, Andrew's the numbers guy. I think we're numbers are on the board. I think we're going to be. I think our goal is around $1 million next year. Is going to be what our goal is for the fertilizing company. We're looking to open a tree and shrub division.
Okay.
You know, potentially having a new business partner come on board who's going to open into that, buy into our company. A lot of things going on right now. Maybe we're actually getting both of our companies, the RS Lawn Care and the My Fertilizing company, evaluated right now as we speak, to get some type of consolidation, maybe a buyout, see what our options are really.
Yeah.
I want to, you know, own one company so I can focus on one website. It's hard to make two pieces. You know, who is it? Michelangelo or Leonardo, whoever didn't paint, he didn't create two Davids, he made one. You know, it's like, for me, doing two websites different, but both, you know, completely awesome is a lot of, I struggle with it, you know?
Yeah. Tell me about the tree and shrub thing. I know you emailed me about that a little bit. So you guys don't offer tree and shrub services right now, correct?
Not right now. Right. But I think, you know, since doing this, and everything, I think all the money's in upsells. I mean, getting people, you know, doing lawn care is great. You know, we make good money doing it, and we could, you know, if you do enough of it, you know, you can make a great living. But you know, these specialty services, we're going to be offering a mole service next year. I think like things like bed maintenance, tree and shrub, all these specialty services. It's like, once the client feels comfortable with you, you do your lawn, they trust you. You know, you've been doing the lawn for 2 years now. They're willing to pay more money than to go with your company than to just try out another company. You know, that's why you want the higher end clients. You have cheap prices. You're gonna get cheap clients who are gonna leave you for the next company over something like really like $6 a year, like something so cheap, which doesn't even equate. It's $1 an app. We had a client that left us for $2 an app. We raise our rates, and I'm like, it's $12 a year. Like, that's not, you can't even do anything for $12. And it stinks, you know. But you know, you get these clients that see value. You know, you have to, you know, market better areas. You can't go to the cheap areas. You know, we're outside of Detroit. We don't advertise in Detroit, and I'm not saying that there's not good people in Detroit. Not good clients. It's just, you know, the majority of them aren't. We tend to stick to Oakland County. We've got a lot of business in Livonia, just out, you know, Western Wayne. That's where the people are willing to pay for more money for service, you know. But we have girls that we pay great money for customer service and sales. They want that level. They have that level of expectations that if there's an issue, we're going to call and jump out and take care of it. But those are the clients that water the lawn, so we're not having as many service calls. You know, it really all goes together.
That's awesome. So 2021 sounds like a big year.
Yeah, it's going to be cool, man. I'm really excited. It's going to have new challenges, but I'm really looking forward to the new exciting growth.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if people want to learn more about you and your company, where can they hit you up? Our Facebook, website, what's the best way to get in touch?
If you have any questions, you can email me. My email is ryan@myfert.com.
Yeah.
Ryan@myfert.com. And actually, I'll mention something about that too. We use the domain myfert.com because the word fertilizing, I don't care who you are and how good of a typer you are. If you type it, you're going to spell it wrong a couple times if you type it 10 times, you're going to spell it wrong 3 times. So we use a shorter domain so people can find us easier. You can type in myfert.com to get to our website, and that redirects you to myfertilizingcompany.com. So you can find us there on Facebook. We're all over, man. I'm easy to find if you look a little bit.
Yeah. So we have a comment from Rick Felton. He said, we're on our 4th season, up to about 900 accounts, and doing exactly what you're talking about, weeding out cheap customers and getting the quality customers. It's easy to make sales when you just keep discounting price, right?
Easy. It's too easy.
Yeah. I remember when we were running a sales team, we hired TruGreen reps, and they were doing the old car salesman manager close. Like, let me go talk to my manager and see if I can save you $5. Hold a second. And they go over here and be like, yeah, my manager said it's okay. And, so we had some variance we'd give them in the price, how far they could go in the price table. But
I love that, by the way, though. It's classic.
Yeah. So it's super interesting.
It's funny because one of our best employees, Trish, Trish, she her first year our prices were cheaper, and then we had a huge price increase from her first year to her second year, and she got a little discouraged. And the difference was, before she was taking sales, and the next year she had to make the sale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's easy.
Yeah, I'm curious what so like Lawnbot this year, obviously I know that you guys have done really well. You're one of our first companies on it. What benefits have you noticed in your business? I don't think I've ever asked you this, like, year to date. I know that, with the integration, we're continuing to make it better and better into RealGreen. And part of that is making sure the API endpoints exist. So we're making that better and better. So 2021 is going to be the best season yet. But what benefits have you noticed with adding like Lawnbot to your business?
All right. Well, putting all the sales we made aside, I love money, I love sales, but like my very most favorite thing is just the integration. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, just the fact that I would gladly pay an employee to put all the data in every month that we pay for Lawnbot. I would gladly pay an employee to do that, but we don't have to pay an employee. We got Lawnbot, we got Growbot, our employee. So
I think that's awesome, by the way. If you haven't seen it, Ryan actually named his bot, which is pretty cool, and has a little dude avatar image for him.
Bio.
I think it's super cool. I think it's making it fun and playful, and even your dogs are on your website, right? It's like the shop dogs.
If you actually click on Growbot's picture, it takes you to his own personal bio page where it's got like pictures of him near the pyramids. Yeah. Having kind of fun with lawn care stuff, nerdy, stuff that when I get bored with work, finding some creative things. But we're making sales though too, Kendall. We're just traffic's coming in. People, I'm not going to say that we're higher price, so we do have to call back and follow up with leads to actually make the sales. But to come in and have a sale or two on a Monday morning that we wouldn't have had, until we called them in the first place is awesome. People are measuring their lawns properly. I remember one of our first sales, I'm like, oh man, this guy didn't measure his backyard. He doesn't know. Like, all these people are stupid. No, this guy actually didn't want his backyard done. Yeah. And then it was awesome. Everything was right. It's like, wow, it's cool. So, we're making sales, integration. We don't have to pay overtime to this person. You don't have to, you don't have to listen to this employee bitch. You know what I mean? I hate when people complain. I want happy employees, and Growbot's one of our happiest employees.
Yeah,
it does. There is it is a working machine. So for anybody that's interested in it, you guys have Kendall set it up. There's when we had it set up, there was probably a lot more to do on our end then, or a lot of back and forth because I was kind of helping you a little bit. But you know, you just got to go through and let Kendall know when you're done with your rounds and following up on things like that, because things can get screwed up. But I mean, you know, Trish tells me, hey, we're done with round 3, and then I send Kendall an email, and that's it. It's easy. So, you know, it's just communicating, and Kendall and his team do a great job doing that.
Yeah. And what we're trying to do is, I appreciate you saying that, what we're trying to do is make it completely automated. So next year we'll have skip dates. Well, we have it. It exists now. We just didn't have it when you'd come on board. Skip dates for each round. Here's the thing is, we know in lawn care, skip dates change. So,
right.
And I don't know if you've seen our videos, but we're actually rolling out a new dashboard where you'll be able to log in yourself. You'll love this, like doing, you know, being hands-on. You can actually log in yourself and change the skip date. So,
oh yeah,
you don't have to email us anymore. Yeah, it's going to be pretty.
You know that I like, you know, I love dashboards and control panels. Anything I can do myself, I just assume do it.
Well, you're one of the first companies we're going to send it to beta. So we'll
find the errors.
Email. Like, it's literally Eric's telling me it's like hot off the press as we speak. Like, he's like, Kendall, it's almost ready. It's almost ready. So we're getting pumped for it. But
you guys are doing awesome things. I'm like beyond proud of you guys, man. You guys, you're like the king of marketing, man. I look up to you in marketing. So you have this crazy energy, and it's awesome, and I love it, man. So you guys are doing cool things, and a lot of people are saying some awesome things. Here's Andrew, my business partner.
Looking good. I like the hat and the tee. You're gonna have to get me one of those.
He hasn't gotten his haircut since coronavirus, right? Since 2019, he hasn't gotten his haircut. He's getting it cut today. He looks like one of those hockey players.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, Ryan, I appreciate you coming on our first show. It's been great catching up with you. I think we've kind of dropped some bombs for anybody watching that you know, can help them grow their business and provided a lot of value. So I appreciate you coming on the show today. And
yeah, right on. And if anybody has any questions, just reach out to me. I'm really passionate about this stuff. So like, feel free, find me on Facebook. Like I said, email me, ryan@myfert.com. I'll be more than happy to help you guys or lead you guys in the right direction. This is something I'm passionate about, and I want to grow this industry to be something awesome, not, you know, what people think it is. Well,
and this is just one last side note before we sign off. I'm saying this, we see a lot of people in the groups that we're in online. They start off in mowing. And we talk to guys all the time. They're like, oh, I got to bid by time and materials and things like that. And we're like, dude, like there's something about a fertilizing chemical company. You got to think about the exit too. Typically, chemical companies are valued at $1 on each dollar of revenue that you're generating, because it's a recurring business, right? And it's kind of like an annuity. It just keeps growing and growing and growing, and eventually, you're either going to have a cash machine, or you're going to have an asset that you can sell to somebody else that has value down the road. So It's like, where do you want to spend your time? Do you want to spend your time kind of building something that doesn't have any resale value and reoccurring value, or do you want to spend your time building? And that's why I see a ton of guys, they're interested in getting into the application space because of that reason alone. They've spent years mowing and trimming, or mow and blow. So it's super interesting. So reach out. Like if you're growing a business, I know that there's customers now of Lawnbot, big customers that before I started Lawnbot, they spent time with me on the phone, walking me through how they grew their business, similar to how Ryan talked about today. You know, what your first 2 years looked like and how it was hard. It's hard for everybody. Everybody I've talked to, at least. So, you know, to be able to reach up in relationships in this industry is super valuable. So reach out to Ryan, ask him questions. He's not going to charge you, I don't think, for advice, because he's passionate about what he does. So, Ryan, I enjoyed having you on the show today.
Right on, man. Thanks for having me.
Have you on a year from now, right?
See where we're at.
Be your second year on Lawnbot, and we won't be like building it as we're like building yours. So we have a lot of traction now and track record to go off of. Almost 120 companies across the country.
Insane.
Lots of them in Metro Detroit, which is surprising. Big market for us and our mutual customers. So we'll talk to you soon, Ryan. And we appreciate you coming on the show today.
Right. Thanks for having me, Kendall. You guys have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.